Well, the New Decor is a survey of artists from around the world, from 22 different countries, who all use furniture as a point of departure for exploring a range of issues that have to do with how we experience interior spaces of different kinds. And perhaps not surprisingly, one of the things that comes up a lot on the show is that our experience of interior space is greatly influenced by what's happening in the world around us and by our experiences in what we could call exterior space. It moves from things that are absurd, things that are kind of abject, to things that reflect on political circumstances. It's really looking at decor as a mirror for looking at a host of questions about how we live today.
I find furniture exciting because it's something that we have a relationship with in everyday life. And so when you see it in a gallery situation, it immediately takes you out of the gallery into real life. And in a lot of cases, the furniture I use have been kind of transformed, so they become either unusable or even dangerous and threatening, and as if sort of revealing an undercurrent of hostility. And basically it's the concept of the uncanny, if you like, where something that you're very familiar with suddenly becomes threatening because it's associated with some kind of trauma. And it's that kind of thing that I actually like to introduce in my work. Violence against women, you know, violence in the home, or a home denied, or all sorts of things that, you know, are deflating this concept of home as being, you know, the safe haven.
Now, there are 36 artists in the show, and they come from 22 different countries, and that includes Cuba, Colombia, Korea, Japan, China, as well as many countries throughout Eastern and Western Europe and North America. And, you know, my hope with the show was really there've been a lot of shows about the overlap between architecture and design and art that were very much focused on Western Europe and the US. And that I think the work in the show reflects different parts of the world in very specific ways. So I think it's important to see this in a kind of global context.
If you come to Tokyo, there's so many fluorescent lights in the city or people's house. It's very, very strange to me. So I wanted to know why, what happens in Japan, or what happens in people's mind. Chandelier is one of typical Western European historical things. But the fluorescent light itself, circular lamp, is very, very Japanese. So I combine two different things. So that's very, very exciting to me. It's kind of sculpture, but at the same time, it's something you can use at your home as a chandelier. So double meanings.
So my name is Tatiana Trouvé, and I am an Italian and French artist, Italian born. And what I'm showing here, it's an installation. It's from the series of boulders. It's made with formica, and this installation, it's in a way much more mantle space, a little bit like impression. For example, when you go from a tunnel and you get out and you have this very contrast space, like kind of overexposed, and try to rebuild exactly how you remind this kind of sensation of this kind of really abstract phenomena. So I all the time try to work on this line, on this border. It's quite fragile between very physical things and very much more abstract and much more related to experience space. It's really domestic space, and is also playing a lot with other space inside, because there is the reflection of the formica where the pieces is reflecting itself, but there is also reflection of mirror where the pieces kind of making duplication of himself. So the space is duplicated and the piece himself is duplicated as well. So it's all the time, it's a kitchen of course, but when you look the whole installation and you go out the line, go into the wall, and the reflection is become not only a kitchen but again another space.
The word decor refers to stage sets and scenery as well as interior decoration. And a work like this giant door by Ugo Rondinone It's clearly a theatrical, oversized door that doesn't suggest something real. It might call attention to how theatrical some of our interior environments are. Somehow I think we're at a point in Western culture where this idea of every moment of life is somehow feels like it's influenced by a film, piece of theater, something else.
My name is Diango Hernandez. Share me, like me, love me. It's basically a floor of an imaginary room, which I mean, it's a revolving plate. It carries a leg of a chair, and then in the other side of the floor there is the chair that is missing a leg. So this revolving plate turns around until the leg matches the chair. In this moment, there is a light that lights, so it goes on when the leg touches only the chair. I've been working with the idea of how a fragment, it has a value. It has the value to explain the whole body of the object that he belongs to. And in this way, I'm exploring the idea of the individual, so how the individual functions in a society, in the body that contains him somehow, and only function as in a society when it's together with a group of people.
I think certain types of art are responding to, pressure to become more theatrical, but probably spectacular would be a better word. Whereas some of this work may not be so spectacular, but it's quite specifically theatrical. Or it suggests also playing out a role. Because I think one thing a lot of these artists are interested in is how our interiors are like stage sets in which we play out specific social roles, or have those roles forced on us, because we don't always have a choice.